Watching Boston in the playoffs, they actually seem to use, like I saw them give Baynes post-up opportunities, and Marcus Morris was shooting shots. Like they seem to have an offense that would be well-suited for a big man with a post presence, and they also seem to be a team that won't need him till late. Like we all see them as currently constructed, they are going to be in the NBA Finals. That's the perception now. So they're going to be in the same position. Like I feel like going to the East also, dominating in the East throughout the end of the season, I think that would have been a better situation for him. That may not have been on the table for him, but if you're going to go anywhere, I think that's a better spot than it is to go to.
Would he win a championship in Boston? Because if you're going to take a pay cut for a year and hang out, you might as well hang out with a group of guys that are having a good time. Oh, and you're going to get a ring.
No, you're right. Boston is one of the few teams in the league that, as a former big center in the league, I admire. They play big. They will play a traditional power forward and center. But the thing that he can do in Golden State that is different, I know he can play in a Boston system. But when it comes to Golden State, this checks off all the boxes. Good locker room guy, winner. Can you play at a pace that's fast, a new NBA pace? So he's got a challenge ahead that he's taken where it wouldn't be as comfortable, I agree, as it would be in Boston.
He's a high turnover guy, too, for a big man at least, and that is kryptonite for the Warriors offense.
We also have to acknowledge Boston may not have wanted him.
Yeah, I know, if that were an option.
Boston's going to take a flyer on.
He was a high turnover guy because he was asked to do a lot. And it's safe to say, just ask Kevin Durant, you're not going to be asked to do a lot.
That's fair.
Oh. Well, the reaction surrounding the DeMarcus Cousins move from fans and NBA players has been mixed. Specifically, Enes Kanter posted this image on Twitter with the caption, Adam Silver has agreed to a mid-level extension with the Golden State, league sources tell me. All right, guys, do you think this move is good or bad for the NBA? You know how Kanter feels.
Yeah, I appreciate Enes Kanter or any player who's given us these laughs on Twitter and Instagram, so that's awesome. But I don't necessarily think it's good for the NBA because, again, I never liked the idea of guys taking less than their worth. And the Warriors are going to pay him. They're going to pay him only $5 million, but it's going to cost them more than $20 million, which tells, because of luxury tax situation, they have to pay 3.5 on every dollar. That tells me that they're willing to pay him 20-some-odd million dollars, and that breaks my heart as a player. I can't say anything about that is good. And you go back to the Warriors for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant took about $5 million less. You could argue that that created the room that they needed to bring in DeMarcus Cousins. So as long as the players aren't getting the money and they're paying it back to themselves through luxury tax, like that disgusts me, and that is not good for the league.
For you as a former player, I understand that. For me as a fan, I look at this and I say it's spectacular for the NBA because otherwise, why are we watching the Warriors again? I mean, you have to look at it and say we're just going to watch the same thing all over again. Remember, the NBA Finals this year, the same as last year, were up 7% in ratings, which tells you more people are watching even when we know the result. So now, for the first time in my lifetime, and I'm the old guy at this table, for the first time in my entire lifetime, we have a team with five returning players that were all NBA. Right? We have that for the first time ever. That's going to create a reason for people to watch when he gets back healthy. Also, the drama in the locker room is what people are going to have their eye on. There are so many storylines out of this that we are going to watch the Warriors.
You know what's good for the NBA? Heroes and villains. So now you just villainize the Warriors even more. You've given me something to watch, and all those people that say that they don't want to watch it, they're not going to stop watching. They're going to watch even more. And you know what? I guarantee Golden State does not sweep Boston in the finals. Okay, so you're going to have an interesting finals. I get everybody was very disgruntled. I didn't want to see a sweep. It wasn't fair. They're overmatched. So I get it.
I take offense to that. Like, I understand the finals wasn't what people wanted to see necessarily, but I'm somewhat bothered by the idea that this top-heavy league is bad for entertainment. Like, last year's NBA season was fantastic. I enjoyed it. The playoffs were great. We had a bad finals, but we had LeBron hitting game winners. We got the Warriors in a game 7. We got that game 1 of the finals where LeBron went for 51. The NBA season last year was terrific. The cherry on top was a little sour with the way that the finals were a sweep, but I think that NBA is intriguing. It's getting more and more intriguing, and I think that these players going to big-time teams with LeBron going out further out west, it's bad for my sleep personally, but it's fantastic for making the league more entertaining, more engaging, and then you put on top of it the social media engagement of the players. If Enes Kanter is going to come with that fire on Twitter, I mean, there's nothing not to like.
Are you watching Knicks anyways?
Well, I'm not watching unless he's.
So you're watching his Twitter, but you ain't watching the Knicks.
I ain't watching the Knicks, but with the exception of more money going to the owners and less money going to the players, I think this is definitely good for the NBA.
And to your point, the numbers show that. The attendance was up, merch sales were up, TV ratings were up on the NBA as a whole. The NBA is now like an action movie. We know exactly how it's going to end. We just watch it to see what blows up and see the action during the season, and that's being accomplished.
But how long do you think that's going to last? I mean, do fans want to watch the tilt, the Western Conference dominate? Do fans want to continue to see that?
I think
don't
so.
think so.
I think they do. I think that what they want to see are great highlights. Everybody wants to see somebody posterized. In a world where all we're rooting for are players and not teams, we don't care where LeBron plays. We're just going to buy his jersey there. As long as fans are in that mindset, they just want to see great highlights.
And when it comes to the Eastern Conference, you have Philly and Boston, two teams that are going to be exciting and good for a very long time. Now, yes, the rest of the East may get beat up, but it always goes in trends. We're just used to the West being better. Sorry, I'm a Cali guy. I'm just sorry, Dad. I mean, I don't know where you guys.
I get it. We're in the Western Conference too.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the idea, you started to propose the idea of realignment, and I think that's a dangerous place to go. I don't think you should go for realignment because I think that you could potentially lose all of the East, lose all of the intrigue of Eastern Conference fans on their teams and that fan base. They have something to strive for, and we still got some great playoffs out of those teams that are not maybe as high as the Western Conference.
And it comes and goes in waves. I mean, you're a football guy. Let's remember that in the 80s and early 90s, the NFC dominated the AFC continually, and there was the same conversation. If they had realigned the NFL just to try and make the Super Bowl more competitive in 1988, what would we be dealing with now? I mean, you can't take it away just to please everybody in the moment.
When I look at that even idea of realignment, that was the LeBron rule. Why? Because he would cruise into a season, turn it on late, and then make it to the finals. 8, 9, however many straight. He owned the finals. So now that LeBron is gone, there's a fair shot at anybody else having this, and it was getting upset. Like LeBron he would just cruise. Yeah. So to cruise into the finals, okay.